This family is devastated and is now calling for action within the Army. Paige, the room was intense for a few moments this evening. Paige, there was a lot of confusion at tonight's meeting, and some citizens say they are still looking for answers. Although the church members didn't want to go on camera, they made it clear that their loss of sense of security amounts to more than the money that was stolen. Paige, the issues in Grovetown have somewhat shifted since yesterday. Citizens were concerned about the recent firing of Gary Jones. Now they think there's a bigger problem. And the FBI says that emergency plan rehearsals, like we did in elementary school, may seem silly, but those rehearsals could save your lives.
NBC 26's Amber Worthy is live tonight in the newsroom with more on this heroic story. Amber?
Paige, this family will have this story to tell for the rest of their lives, all thanks to the bravery of their son. This family is devastated and is now calling for action within the Army. A former military doctor came forward saying that their son and brother's killer should have been in substance abuse treatment at the time of the murder.
He was my baby.
We need something good to come out of all this tragedy.
This reaction comes just days after a doctor from Fort Gordon resigns, saying that the burden of this information was just too heavy to carry.
Anger, there's rage. To think that had somebody followed through and gotten this guy treatment, my brother could still be here. And Hodges could be here too.
I wasn't going to go to my grave without the families knowing all of the story.
This doctor told NBC 26 he believes Fort Gordon could have done more to prevent Specialist Christopher Hodges from shooting Deputy Paul, then committing suicide, specifically keeping him for inpatient treatment.
Somebody higher up without a medical degree decided that they weren't going to give him the treatment.
The Army needs to come up and admit that they really made some mistakes.
And hopefully they'll never do it again.
Dr. Lillard claims Hodges was referred for month-long treatment twice and would have been in treatment when the shooting occurred.
Christopher Hodges shot and killed my brother, but there's other people that are culpable for contributing and for doing nothing when they could have.
And we got a statement from the U.S. Army saying SPC Hodges refused to participate in an inpatient program as recommended to prevent delaying his course completion and returning to the Tennessee National Guard. But Lillard says that's not true, and the higher-ups made the decision for him.
So you have non-medical people driving the system.
I've never understood that.
For now, the Paul family is holding on to dear memories of JD and working to educate and hopefully influence change in military procedure because they say that this is what JD would be doing.
Yeah, he'd be fighting for it.
And he was like the epitome of serve and protect.
The family hopes this sparks an important discussion within the military and they can one day educate people about the risks of substance abuse with the help of Dr. Lillard. Here for you in the studio, Amber Worthy, NBC 26 News. Paige, the room was intense for a few moments this evening. The commission that conducts this assessment was brought in and hoped to hear from residents who were for and against the Richmond County Sheriff's Office.
It's huge for us, and again, yes, you can apply for federal grants, but again, it lets the citizens of this county know that we're serious about the professional law enforcement protecting this community.
Citizens from the community filled the room Tuesday night to make their opinions known about their experience here in Augusta, Richmond County. The Commission of Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies sent in officials from nationally or internationally accredited police departments to gather this information and pass it along to the rest of the board.
So anytime the citizens have opportunity to express their opinions, either good or bad, we appreciate that.
Tim Hollenbaugh, a veteran, gave the first passionate speech, and he made some hefty allegations that the Sheriff's Office is breaking federal laws pertaining to the American Disabilities Act.
Our Sheriff's Department has no ADA coordinator. They have no contact or liaison person to the disability community whatsoever.
We also spoke with a resident who went through the Sheriff's Office's Citizens Police Academy, and he says despite those concerns, he stands with the department.
When it's all said and done with, they're there for us when we needed them. So it's, I'm sorry about the negative comments and the negative experiences people have had with the Sheriff's Office.
The comment session gave many the opportunity to speak for as long as 10 minutes. The session was recorded and will be sent to the board for review.
I'm hoping and praying that our Sheriff's Office becomes, once again, nationally accredited.
I'm just hoping that we can resolve it and get his office into compliance. If we can't, then I'm hoping that we can force this office into compliance, which we will. One of the two.
I reached out to the Sheriff's Office's Public Information Office about the issue of having a liaison per the American Disabilities Act. They told me they didn't know and referred me to the HR department. In the newsroom, Amber Worthy, NBC 26. Burned Bibles, an organ, and mics were all left after the fire torched Glover Grove Missionary Baptist Church in June. Tuesday afternoon, Samaritan's Purse, a nonprofit group, started the work that will help this church move forward.
Glover Grove, as well as a church in Charlotte, Briar Creek Baptist Church, both burned under very suspicious conditions.
Although SLED couldn't come to a conclusion and deemed the cause undetermined, many say they still believe it wasn't just natural causes. Despite that, this group came down from Charlotte, North Carolina to donate services that would have cost the church tens of thousands of dollars. Todd Taylor's church was lost to a fire like this, and he says that experience made him passionate to give back in the same way.
I just remember the love that so many of the community and surrounding churches showed our congregation after we lost our sanctuary.
So despite Tuesday's heat, Todd and his crew worked with a smile, knowing that this was a tremendous help for the church. And before demolition began, church members were able to salvage things like this candle holder, a simple reminder of what used to be Glover Grove.
I felt bad, disappointed, confused, but then I know that, God has us.
This candle holder from the women's bathroom may not mean much to most, but to Victoria, anything from the building means the world. And she has high expectations for the new building.
Bigger and better is the goal, yes.
Pastor Bobby Jones owns the entire property and hopes to use it all for their new space. And Todd says whatever he can do to help with their vision, he will.
We give as God's given us.
Here for you in Gloverville, South Carolina, Amber Worthy, NBC 26.